They buy assets, you buy liabilities. We've all seen that viral video of the lottery winner who's broke 5 years later, right? It's the classic tale of new money, old problems. But here's the hard truth that separates the haves from the have-nots from the very first dollar they earn. It's not about the size of the paycheck. It's about the mindset behind the spending. You see, when most people get a raise, their brain immediately goes to upgrade. A nicer car, a bigger TV, a vacation to Bali. It feels good. It feels like success. But the wealthy? They look at that same raise and see a down payment on a rental property, or a chunk of stock in a company that pays dividends. They aren't buying things that lose value the second you drive them off the lot. They are buying things that put money back into their pockets while they sleep. So, first up, the biggest difference. The rich buy assets that generate income, while the average person buys liabilities that generate expenses. It's the fundamental shift that changes everything. Risk versus calculated gambles. Let's talk about risk. Most people treat risk like it's a venomous snake. They see a potential investment and their brain screams, "What if I lose everything?" So they play it safe. They park their savings in a bank account earning 0.01% interest and call it financial security. But let's be real, that's not security. That's just slow motion loss to inflation. The wealthy mindset views risk differently. They don't gamble, they calculate. They see that same risk as a math problem. What are the odds? What's the downside? What's the upside? They're willing to lose a little to learn a lot. They aren't afraid of failure. They're afraid of not playing the game. To them, the biggest risk is doing nothing and letting their purchasing power wither away. They take calculated leaps, knowing that even if they fall, they'll land on a pile of experience that's worth more than the money they put in. The time value dollar. You've heard the phrase, time is money, right? But for most people, that's just a saying. For the rich, it's the core operating system of their lives. The average person trades their time for a paycheck. They think, if I work 40 hours, I get X dollars. So they chase overtime. They look for a second job. They trade more hours for more dollars. It's a linear equation. But the wealthy person looks at time as the ultimate non-renewable resource. They want to break that equation. They ask, how can I make money while I'm sleeping? Or, how can I pay someone else to do this task so I can focus on the big picture? They value their free time so highly that they will spend money to buy it back. They might hire a cleaner, a virtual assistant, or a manager, not because they're lazy, but because an hour of their time is worth $100. They understand that compounding only works if you have time, and they aren't willing to sell it cheaply. The network is the net worth. Look around at your 5 closest friends. Now, add up their income. Is your number close to theirs? It's a weird psychological phenomenon. We tend to hover around the average of our social circle. The average person often sees networking as awkward, fake, or just a way to get a free coffee. They stick to their bubble. The wealthy, however, treat their network like a garden they have to water every single day. They understand that a phone call to the right person is worth more than 1,000 cold emails. They actively seek out people who are smarter, richer, and more successful than them. They aren't intimidated by success, they're inspired by it. They go to conferences, they send follow-up emails, and they ask for introductions. Why? Because they know that opportunities don't just fall from the sky. They come through doors that are opened by people you know. Your net worth is a reflection of your network. Fixed versus growth mindset. This one is subtle, but it's massive. The poor mindset, and I'm talking about the poverty of thought here, not just the bank account, is a fixed mindset. It's the belief that intelligence and talent are static. I'm just not good with numbers, or I'm not a salesperson. So they avoid the hard stuff. They stick to what they know. They plateau. The wealthy mindset is obsessed with growth. They believe they can learn anything. They view every failure not as a verdict on their character, but as a data point. Why did that deal fall through? Let me analyze it. They read books on negotiation, even if they're introverts. They take classes on coding, even if they're 50 years old. They are voracious learners. They see their brain as a muscle that needs constant tension to grow. They'd rather be the dumbest person in a room full of geniuses than the smartest person in a room full of average Joes. Playing to win versus playing not to lose. Finally, we have the ultimate mental split. The average person is playing a game of not losing. They are so terrified of making a mistake that they freeze. They hedge their bets. They diversify into everything so much that they effectively diversify into nothing. They are defensive. They just want to survive. The wealthy are playing a game of winning. They are offensive. They are aggressive, within reason. They don't just want to survive the financial game, they want to dominate it. They are looking for the one big swing that changes their family tree. They aren't afraid to be concentrated in their investments, to bet on themselves, or to go all in on a business idea. They believe they can create wealth out of thin air through ideas and execution. They don't just hope for the best, they plan to win. So, the difference isn't about how much money you have right now, it's about the operating software running in your head. Upgrade the code, and the output changes. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe, because the next video might just be the thing that shifts your mindset forever. Thanks for watching.